Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. I'd like to welcome each of you to another FranTastic Insights social media video segment, whereby we introduce you to some very prominent personalities, all of whom are having a very positive impact on the ever-growing world of franchising. My name is David Craghead. I'm the Chief Franchise Expansion Officer for FranServe, and today I'll be your host for this week's FranTastic Insights video segment. FranServe, for those of you who may not be familiar, is recognized as the world's largest franchise consulting and expansion organization. We have a very simple mission, and that is we change people's lives in a very positive way through franchise ownership. And we do that through a network of incredible franchise brands in 39 different industry categories. And our growth initiatives are supported by a growing portfolio of franchise consultants. Many of you refer to them as brokers. They're all dedicated to helping their clients explore franchise opportunities which are deemed to be a perfect match to their individual search criteria. And today I'd like to introduce you Mr. Danny Grammenopoulos. He's the president of Dapper Doughnut Fresh Treats and Coffee. They are headquartered in one of my favorite cities, Charlotte, North Carolina, and they are known for their flavorful innovations with donuts and baked treats, which are always made fresh to order. Their donuts are often described as the bee's knees in this industry. So, Danny, thank you for being with us today. As I pass the microphone over to you this afternoon, or actually this morning, I'm getting ahead of myself, please share your business model description and your latest perspective on the Dapper Doughnut franchise brand.
David, thank you very much for having us. I appreciate that. And for sharing some of the brand with Dapper, Dapper is a brand that serves, as you've already mentioned, hot, fresh mini donuts, coffee, and other specialty treats. Everything is made fresh to order, and that's our key success factor. We don't have showcases of donuts and goods that are pre-made. We combine the right equipment and technology to efficiently execute our fresh prep advantage. Our menu has unlimited amount of selection and customization with a limited amount of products and ingredients. So in the food service industry, we know that waste and food costs are some of the major problems that businesses owners are facing. When fresh made, we solve that problem of waste and high food costs, and of course provide great tasting fresh made products. There's nothing better than having a hot fresh donut that is served to you and served to the guest. So in addition, another one of our advantages is one franchise fee. The franchise fee receives two business opportunities and two revenue streams: a storefront, the ability to do a storefront, and a food trailer. Which is one of the best values, I think, in the industry. When you take advantage and operate a retail store and a food trailer together, the two meld and complement each other very well. Now, why is that? Retail store, what it does, it becomes a commissary for the food trailer. Without that, if you just operate a food trailer, for example, you are bound to having to establish relationships out there with third-party facilities. And really, at some point, you're at their whim. We eliminate that by combining the two together as one franchise. And so the opportunity of being able to operate a mobile business plus the bricks and mortar is not available with many other brands in the country that I know of. And we've perfected it, and the two really complement each other well.
And do your franchisees typically, when they launch their franchise, do they typically begin with both options, or do they start with one, then grow into the other?
It's a combination. A lot of them right now are beginning with two, as we started marketing that way, and so they fund for it. They're ready with both, so they'll put an order in for their food trailer, and they'll actually go out there getting a retail location for them. In some cases, not. They'll start typically, and then it's a combination. So some will say, "Listen, I'm going to start with a retail format, and then I'll add the food trailer afterwards," and vice versa. Some say, "I want to start with the food trailer, and then as we go, we'll get into the retail format." We're okay with all three selections together or individually in any one, and we'll help them guide them along that process while they're making that decision.
But provide some flexibility there for the new franchise.
Correct. Right.
Okay. What is the typical ramp up time from signing of the franchise agreement to the actual ribbon cutting of the brand? How does that normally play out?
So normally from that, when a franchisee first joins us, so we have a franchise agreement executed, they'll be placed on our onboarding process. So we have a defined onboarding process. They'll immediately begin starting with their ops manual training and onboard, and then be onboarded to our franchising platform. So our platform currently contains a robust learning management system and has a little over 1,400 other pieces of documents and support materials for them. So they get access to all that information right from day one. And then we also schedule a cadence of bi-weekly calls at this stage with them to ensure that the franchisee goes through their pre-site checklist. So we're kind of walking with them all along the way as they come on board. And then we also introduce them to our initial key vendors for site selection, financing, and accounting. So the franchisee, sometimes I've done franchising a lot in the past, and I've had it where sometimes the franchisee pays a fee and then the franchisor disappears, right? And they're really left at their own devices. And I've kind of taken a different approach to that. The variable in anything is always the site selection process, right? So we accelerate that. We have a national master broker set up, and they've defined a process of site selection across the continental US. And so we have identified different markets for that. And so if you take typical, let's say site selection is 3 to 5 months, architectural will take a month, permits another month, and then construction 4 to 5 months. You'll have it from signing, you'll be in that nine month to 1 year area for ribbon cutting.
How would you describe the perfect franchisee for Dapper Donuts? What does that person bring to the table that you require?
You know, David, one of the key things, and I've done franchising a lot of years, is really finding initially it's the character. Is that person, do they have the character to be able to function and operate within a franchise system? And we spend a lot of time about that at the very beginning. And so it's a unique character. I mean, I was dealing with one franchisee once that says, you know, I really don't like being told what to do. And I thought, well, you know, I'm not sure franchising is the right category for you. It's not judgmental. It's not right or wrong. Just that person maybe needs to go out on their own and do their own independent business. So that starts first, is do they have the character to be in a franchise system? Certainly we need franchisees that are engaging, because this is a very engaging concept. We're always interacting with one another. We're coming up with new ideas. Be collaborative as well. We do have franchisee advisory groups together that we advise each other on marketing and other events. Hands-on operators is the preferred method. It does require full-time commitment. If they want to be absentee operators, we allow that as well, but they need to provide us with a qualified full-time manager. And if they're going to be really absentee, where they just simply are not going to have any involvement, it needs to be a full-time equity manager as well that has a small equity of at least 10%. And then the final step is, of course, they need to have the financial wherewithal to be able to open a store, right?
Do you find that franchise applicants who have a background in food and beverage, do they seem to fit your model better, or does it make a difference?
It hasn't shown up as what's better. We've had, and that's in the franchising world, that's always a question: is do you want to have somebody that comes in with preconceived notions and you're always battling, trying to break them down and create them into what you want, or do you want somebody that's a clean slate, and then you can just simply model them and train them into your concept? So I don't think it's a disadvantage, but I don't think it's an advantage either as well. I think it's both. We've had people from all different types of backgrounds and industries, and they've all, the process that we have is bringing them all to that same level of knowledge, and then be able to execute the brand and the concept the best way they can.
Since your model is in the food and beverage industry, as we help you grow your brand across the country, do you envision, or do you even allow, any regional influence over your menu?
We do. I mean, the concept is built on allowing flexibility of product innovations at different parts of the country, while at the same time not impacting the brand identity. For example, so we have 22 corporate flavors. We also offer 20 rotational, and then we have 10 locals. So a franchisee technically could carry 52 different flavors if they wish. So with that array of options, franchisees can provide regional local, municipal, variations that make sense for their markets. And we'll work with them in the regions to ensure that those variations are all up on the digital platforms, available on all third-party platforms. And in most networks, if you do some of these regional changes or regional additions, they're really locked down to that and live in that local market. And so we do offer that, certainly. And the concept itself is really conducive to that. And so, something that may work in the Midwest will not work in the West Coast, or may not work down south. And so we allow that flexibility. There is a standardization, but we allow certain flexibility. For one example is that our El Paso, Texas store, what they added was a donut that had Nutella and jalapeno pepper, and it became one of their top 3 sellers, right? And so that is a local flavor for that market.
Right. And Danny, as the Dapper Doughnut brand matures, are you anticipating any significant changes over the next 2 to 3 years?
I don't see anything at this point, David. No, I don't see anything to what we're doing.
Okay. And let me ask you, are there any effects that you're feeling, good, bad, or indifferent, regarding the current economy that we're living in?
The economic landscape is always ever changing, and it has the booms and busts, and that is really the constant. I think the main constant is, it doesn't matter in economic conditions. I think economic conditions, it's the undeniable allure of fresh treats and coffee. So in the heart of this indulgence, our mini-doughnuts and coffee brand stands out as a testament, really, to the love affair that people have with just simple pleasures. So, and regardless, I think, of the financial tides and ebbs and flows, customers consistently will find solace and enjoy the simple act of savoring a freshly prepared treat alongside a good, high-quality cup of coffee. So the treats food category that we're in, I think it represents a permissible indulgence, irrespective of the ebbs and flows of the economy, and it's a small luxury I think the individuals are willing to afford, and it will be resilient to economic conditions, and it has shown that.
Right. And of course, we all know coffee and donuts go together. Speaking of coffee, does Dapper Doughnuts have any unique aspects pertaining to the coffee segment?
We create our own blend. So we've created our own Dapper Doughnut blend. Has a very high score. I can't say anything specifically that is unique to it. What we do is we have one brand of coffee roasted for us, and we use that in both the espresso and specialty drinks, and as well as our regular brewed coffee. So the advantage, again, is simplicity in regards to the SKUs and number of products, a high quality product, and with that product now we execute in a whole array of different types of menu items for the coffee side of it. Yeah, but it's our own proprietary product.
Very good. And you have both eat-in, dine-in, as well as takeout, correct?
Correct. We have all aspects. So we have delivery. So we have catering side of it. So catering with delivery through our own app, which takes them up to 10 miles. Catering through Easy Cater, which goes up even further than that, go up to about 20 miles. Then they'll do any orders that they do. They can do it online. They can have it for pickup, curbside, or delivery as well. And our entire menu.
Very good. Danny, can you speak a little bit about your training program, both in-house as well as your field training?
So the training that we have, so in-house, again, going back to what I was saying, when somebody comes on board with us, there's a full like training platform on our franchising platform. And so franchisees will get the full training program from on the operations manual, and then to everything in regards to operating the store. We also have where every one of their employees gets put up on the training platform as well, and they'll be able to train on the full on what they require in regards to operating the store in their particular job title, and they end up getting tested, and with that the franchisee then can see where they're at, and the whole point is bringing everybody up to a training as quickly as possible, and then be able for them to become valued members in their store, get out of that training program as fast as possible. So It's fully comprehensive. It's all online on the general training. When we open up a store, what happens is our team of 2 people goes into the location and they train them live. So what we'll do is we'll go 7 days before. Everyone would have been trained online. We go in 7 days before and we spend those 7 days training the entire new teams, the franchisees. We help them do their friends and family opening. We'll open with them, and then we spend up to another 5 days after they open in their locations and continue to support them that way.
Very good. Can you speak to the design metrics of your territories? How are they created?
You know what? We're so young right now that I don't have, it's really on a case-by-case basis. We have the entire market is open. And so I know as we grow and as locations start, being more locations being open in a market, we are going to have to actually start, adjusting those metrics. Right now, it's just handled on a case-by-case basis because we have the market is so wide open that anyone can open anywhere, and then we'll deal with it. Once we look at a site, we'll look at the actual site data, populations and other data specifics, and we'll work out with the franchisee their specific territory that makes sense for them. So big advantages to the people now at this stage. They'll probably get bigger territories than 2 years from now when we're full. Yeah.
So the time is now.
The time is now. Yeah.
Okay. Can you? Well, let me see how I should ask this. Can you speak to the hot territories you're looking for our brokers to help you expand into? Do you have any territories that are really targeted?
David, we have been blessed to have been accepted by Cisco on a national distribution contract. So therefore, our entire continental USA is open for expansion because we can supply them anywhere in the continental US. So I don't have any specific hot markets, but through our site selection profiling, we've identified that in the continental US market, it has the ability to hold 1,575 Dapper donuts. That's what the data is telling us. So I don't think there's any specific hot market. I think it's just any market you have a capable franchisee that is qualified, and we do a deal with them. We'll be able to supply them. We'll be able to service them. We'll be able to support them, and we start from there. So it's wherever they are.
Very good. Very good. Well, Daniel, we're down to my last question, and that question is, if there is one takeaway from today's interview with you that we may not have touched on, what would you want our viewers to know about your brand that we haven't discussed?
I would say don't discount a legacy product the way we have. What's the newest and greatest? I've been developing franchising for a lot of years. And I go back to a concept that I did early on in my career that was blessed to develop called Yogurt Foods. It was a dessert concept. And they had a great system of marrying a mixing auger with frozen pucks of yogurt and IQF fruit, where they could create 20 different flavors on a 6-foot freezer. And you take that example of people trying to do soft serve ice creams at that time, they eliminated 20 machines that would serve the same type of flavors, but with 20 machines, they did it with that. And so I never thought I would be able to find another concept to match all those benefits. But I did. When I found it one day, I took a flight and somebody told me about this concept, and I ended up flying to it, spending 3 days examining it, and bought the concept. I found that in Dapper Doughnut. So when you marry the right equipment and technology, we're able in Dapper Doughnut to offer the operational efficiencies, the product yield, profitability that's unmatched. So the market is open. The opportunity is here for growth. I know that anyone referred to us through your network, through the FranServe network, will be taken care of with respect and supported through the entire process of pre-opening while in operation of opening. And so the only thing I can say is don't discount it, and let's see if we can knock this out of the park.
I think we all agree that donuts are here to stay. Wouldn't you agree with that, Danny?
I would agree 100%. There's a lot of flexibility and so much ingenuity that's coming through it that it's a great product. And then with all the support materials and other products around it, it's just a phenomenal category.
Well, Danny, I want to thank you for the privilege of your time today. This entire interview will be posted on the FranServe support site. It'll be archived in our library, and it'll also be uploaded to Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So with that, Danny, we will adjourn today's interview session, FranTastic Insights. Thanks again, Danny. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, David. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.